So DraftChain AI is essentially a legal co-pilot. Think of us as basically ChatGPT for attorneys.
Okay.
One of the examples that I was talking about with my fellow panelists was really concerning how you can utilize AI and blockchain to authenticate deepfake videos, because we see that's a very big problem today. Hey, this is actually what happened in this video. It hasn't been digitally altered. And so that way, when you're looking at a criminal case or a civil case and you have evidence with video, you actually get things right. And I think that's so important today, because we don't want innocent people on either side of kind of what happens in an incident to be in trouble, right? Really, a lot of the takeaways I took from this event are, look, emerging technologies are here, crypto and blockchain are here, and we're seeing now an interest in institutional markets that want to take like an opportunity to get exposure to these markets as they're growing and maturing, and we're starting to see that today.
Ladies and gentlemen, to my right is Rick Tapia, CEO of DraftChain AI. We're here at the W in honor of the Digital Fusion Summit. We just wrapped up 4 killer panels, 2 keynote speakers. Rick was one of the talented panelists that spoke on AI, digital assets. The panel you were on was in regards to compliance and the regulatory aspects intersecting this alternative investment space. Do you mind talking about some of the key points you mentioned up on stage and share that with the audience here?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we've really talked about was this emergence and convergence of emerging technologies with AI and crypto and blockchain. And what we're seeing is, on a global scale, a lot of these regulatory frameworks are coming into the fold that are disrupting many different industries.
And how is DraftChain AI position to capitalize on such significant changes in the market?
So I appreciate you bringing that up. So DraftChain AI is essentially a legal co-pilot. Think of us as basically ChatGPT for attorneys.
Okay.
So when you have an attorney that utilizes artificial intelligence, that's happening in a number of different instances today. But what are the things that you need to be really mindful of, right? You need to be mindful of guardrails, your ethical responsibilities as an attorney, but also looking at some of the practical considerations of, hey, does this actually increase your output? Does this increase your efficiencies?
Can you talk about the information that you guys source and how it empowers DraftChain AI and its users?
Yeah, absolutely appreciate that. So we're actually taking a bit of a different approach by actually compartmentalizing the data that we have for our legal IP into different data lakes and incentivizing attorneys to contribute via rev share into these respective data law lakes. So if you have an attorney that has years worth of IP related to corporate and business law, they would contribute that IP into a particular data law lake, and then they would receive a revenue share based off the attorneys that subscribe to that particular data law lake.
Wow. A very interesting ecosystem, but also a wonderful way to incentivize new users to engage and also to bring on that quality data. How do you think AI is going to complement this alternative investment space called digital assets?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So when you look at how artificial intelligence plays into blockchain technology, in some ways it's gimmicky, but there's actually a lot of practical use cases. One of the examples that I was talking about with my fellow panelists was really concerning how you can utilize AI and blockchain to authenticate deepfake videos, because we see that's a very big problem today. So in a lot of ways, you could use an AI to authenticate some of the video, and then you could also use blockchain technology to authenticate the actual original copy of that video. So in the case of any alterations or things like that come up, you would actually be able to authenticate the original copy of that video and actually help prevent the spread of deepfake videos.
That's a very much a growing concern with all of the content that's being flooded out there, and even around, and not trying to get into politics, but is this content being made for propaganda to sway a specific community on their votes? So it's great to hear that there's new systems in place or technologies that can vet or verify where that data or that content originated from and the validity of it.
Yeah, and not even just for like celebrities or politicians, but also even just for the common person. So let's say you get pulled over in a traffic stop, and we've seen a lot of things in society today with around police body cams and footages and things that are altered and altering evidence and things like that. So we have now an opportunity to really authenticate a lot of these videos. So we actually know 100% unequivocally, hey, this is actually what happened in this video. It hasn't been digitally altered. And so that way, when you're looking at a criminal case or a civil case and you have evidence with video, you actually get things right. And I think that's so important today, because we don't want innocent people on either side of kind of what happens in an incident to be in trouble, right? And I think that's really important, and technology allows us to be able to do.
Can you talk about your target audience or customers that DraftChain AI is trying to service?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we do obviously target is attorneys and law firms, but really in terms of our product market fit, we're really looking at honing in on general counsels and in-house attorneys, because what we're realizing is the billable hour is the lifeblood for an attorney. And what we're already seeing in some at the state level here in the States is if you actually charge a client, let's say hypothetically 3 hours to drafting a contract, but then by using AI, you go down to 1 hour, it's common sense exits that tell you that you can't actually bill for those extra 2 hours that you made up.
Wow.
So in order to make up for that, we say you have to go to more of a work product based model or a flat fee based model. So that way the billable hour isn't so much of an issue whenever you're billing out clients for work. And so that's why we want to target in-house counsels and contingency fee-based attorneys first.
That's going to radically disrupt the income for attorneys in the space. What kind of feedback are you getting from those that when you share your technology?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So when we actually talk to a lot of attorneys, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, a number of them are very fully aware of how much AI is going to disrupt their paradigms, whether it's with actual work products, how they bill their clients. But we're seeing right now is we're in a very rudimentary phase in the market where a lot of these attorneys don't know exactly what solutions are going to work for them or what ways they need to actually shift their model. And of course, as some might expect, some of the smaller and more nimble firms are a little bit more willing to take that plunge into AI and what solutions it can bring versus some of the bigger firms. But the larger law firms of the world are looking at this as well.
Wow. My wife is an attorney as well. One of those thoughts that always crossed my mind was, how soon is your job going to be replaced by AI? Because if you're doing redlining of contracts, which could ultimately get picked up by an AI that can pick up patterns in contracts, that's where I see this world going and how it can radically disrupt not just my life, but individuals that are in this space. Anyways, what were some key takeaways that you may have shared up on stage or that you heard other panelists that resonated with you or that you would think is worth sharing to my audience here?
And before I get to that, I do want to kind of circle back on one of the points you just made about how, hey, are attorneys going to be replaced? I'm a firm believer that attorneys will never be fully replaced and that you still will need a human at the end of the equation to put the stamp of approval, because at the end of the day, the decision that you're making when it comes to legal affects human beings. And so I think you still need to have a human at the end of that equation making those decisions. One of the things that I took. Yeah. and to be fair, there are obviously a lot of people and businesses that kind of want to go the other route, and I certainly understand their line of reasoning, but I'm a believer in the other side of that. But one thing I will kind of circle back on is really a lot of the takeaways I took from this event are, look, emerging technologies are here, crypto and blockchain are here, and we're seeing now an interest in institutional markets that want to take like an opportunity to get exposure to these markets as they're growing and maturing, and we're starting to see that today.
How can those in the audience learn more about DraftChain AI and reach out to you to engage with your products and services?
Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Rick Tapia. You can find me on there. I'm also on X as well. And yeah, I'd be happy to connect with anybody that wants to learn more about us and how we can be of help.
Awesome. Rick, I'm looking forward to supporting you in any way possible. And I'll be sure to copy your information in the description of this video. Appreciate you, sir. Safe travels home. And it was great to listen to you up on stage here today.
Thank you so much.